Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Jacobson, your go-to board-certified plastic surgeon right here in sunny Beverly Hills. Buckle up because in my practice, I've seen it all. From jaw-dropping transformations to some truly unforgettable procedures. It's been quite the journey and I can't wait to share it with you. Join me on the Beauty Blueprint, where we'll dive into cutting-edge procedures and techniques in the world of cosmetic plastic surgery and explore everything you need to know about the overall health and wellness. But that's not all. I've lined up some exciting guests who will share their insights on various aspects of health and beauty, making every single episode packed with valuable information and fun discussions. So grab your coffee and get ready to join the conversation every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. right here on Go Country 105. You won't want to miss a moment. Well, good morning, Go Country 105 listeners. We are back. We're excited to be back for our second episode of the Beauty Blueprint. I'm Dr. Joshua Jacobson, and I have my co-host, Ashley, here with me.
Good morning, Dr. J.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's Beauty Blueprint episode, The Surgeon Spotlight. How to find the best surgeon for you.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our first show and got to get to know me and Ashley. Today, we're going to be talking about how to find the best plastic surgeon for you. It may not always be me, obviously. So we'll talk how you find the best one for you particularly. It's so important to have the right surgeon, someone who's not only skilled and well-trained, but also who you feel comfortable with. And it's very important that you get to know your surgeon. You must feel comfortable, like you trust them and have good connection with them. It's more of that instinctual feeling. And I hope you're really excited because this show is going to be very important for our listeners who are looking to get plastic surgery.
Ever wish you could redesign your look even just a little? Meet board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson, the architect of beauty. His expertise transforms your vision into reality. Whether you're dreaming of a subtle enhancement or a dramatic change, Dr. Joshua Jacobson can meticulously blueprint your ideal self. Don't wait, contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. Before we get into today's show, we have a little game we want to play that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. It's called Would You Rather? Okay, Dr. Jacobson, let me ask the first one. Would you rather have a personal robot who can take on menial tasks or have a personal chef who cooks you amazing meals but always forgets to add one key ingredient?
So recently I was traveling, and every time I would come home, I would come back to our hotel, I was really tired and I really didn't want to brush and floss. So, and I thought about having this personal robot who brushes and flosses. So I'm gonna go with that first one.
Okay.
All right, Ashley, let me ask you, would you rather have the ability to instantly teleport anywhere you want, but only once a day? Or do you want to have the ability to fly at a maximum speed of 10 miles per hour all day long?
Well, at first I was going to say teleport, and then I thought about Los Angeles traffic. That's a tough one. I'm going to say teleport. I think it'd be amazing. Once a day, I can go to Bali, I can go to Italy, I can go to Greece. I would teleport once a day somewhere beautiful. Get out of here.
Well, the downside of it is you wouldn't be able to listen to radio to Go Country 105.
You got a point. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another question for you, Ashley. Would you rather live in a world where every day is the weekend, but you have no access to the internet, or in a world where you work every day, but you have unlimited high-speed internet access?
I do work every day. I do already work every day. I would say I'm not somebody big on the weekends. Monday is my favorite day of the week. I love to start brand new. I like to start fresh. I'm somebody who has always loved Mondays. So I'll get rid of my weekends for sure. But yeah, since I already work 7 days a week and I love high-speed internet, I'm gonna go with that one.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you. I don't particularly like the weekends. I like the weekdays because I come see people and it just gives me a lot of energy from being around people. So
absolutely,
I'm with you.
I agree.
Do you have questions you would like answered on the Beauty Blueprint? Call us at 800-734-0040. That's 800-734-0040 and leave a message with your comment or question. and we will answer it on air. Then tune in every Sunday morning at 7:30 to the Beauty Blueprint right here on Go Country 105.
All right, let's get into our show. Dr. Jacobson, tell me, how important is it for a client to understand a surgeon's background and experience?
Well, so I guess it's a little bit of an obvious question. It's important, but let's talk about why it's important. So obviously there are some surgeons that are naturally talented and they're going to be good. But for the most part, most surgeons are good, but they need to be well trained. So one of the most important things to know about your plastic surgeon is for them to obviously have gotten a good training, but also the right training and be board certified plastic surgeon. So recently, since a lot of insurances have cut down reimbursement for different specialties, we see people from OB-GYN, general surgery, other kinds of specialties, even pediatricians doing plastic surgery. There was actually a report of someone dying while getting plastic surgery, liposuction, from a pediatrician, which is really unfortunate. So you have to make sure your surgeon is board certified in plastic surgery. That's different than cosmetic surgery. That's sort of like a made up a board, and it's not recognized by the American Board of Medical Specialties. So that's one of the important things. The other is for you to look at your surgeon and see how they do each procedure and whether you like their style, because everyone has their own style, and you want to find someone that sees eye to eye as you.
Didn't we have a patient come in that had a tummy tuck from an ENT?
Yes, that's right.
That was bad.
So we had a patient who had the surgery and didn't like her results, and we looked at the implant card and we looked up the doctor, and it was a head and neck surgeon, not even trained in plastic surgery or anything, just someone that does regular.
She was botched.
Yeah, and it looked really bad, and he had done all kinds of things: tummy tuck and breast implants, breast lift, BBLs.
Yeah, Dr. Jacobson, tell the audience about how hard it is to correct someone else's work after that.
It is very, very hard, because it's sort of like when you have we don't have an eraser. So we have a canvas. When it's blank, it's very easy to paint on it to do your artwork. But once someone does something to it, it's very hard to work around that. We can, in some cases, make it a little bit better, but we can never make it as good as it would have been. You only have one body. We can't mess it up.
Is that even legal?
Unfortunately, yes, because plastic surgery is one of those things where you're not legally obligated to be a plastic surgeon to do most of these procedures. You have to be an eye surgeon to do cataract surgery, but plastic surgery is much less regulated, unfortunately, and a lot of people don't know that, and they just go to people who say, well, yeah, I've done these procedures, I've done this here, this is my before afters, and they get botched.
Ever wish you could redesign your look even just a little? Meet board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson, the architect of beauty. His expertise transforms your vision into reality. Whether you're dreaming of a subtle enhancement or a dramatic change, Dr. Joshua Jacobson can meticulously blueprint your ideal self. Don't wait, contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. Look at what's going on in Miami right now. A lot of people are flying to Miami for body procedures because it's more affordable. And what's happening is they're seeing one plastic surgeon, and then when they get on the table, it's another plastic surgeon doing the work, and it's a ghost plastic surgeon doing that.
Well, that's actually the best case scenario for them. A lot of times it's the assistant, the surgical tech, that's doing the surgery. So they run 3 rooms at the same time. One plastic surgeon just jumps from one room to the other, and then the assistant is just doing the surgery. Well, they've done it, many times with the surgeon, but obviously they're not as good, and that's why you see a lot of complications coming out of Miami. There are also cases where plastic surgeons from other countries come to the operating room, and once the patient is asleep and they come from the back door, they do the surgery, they get a menial pay, which is a lot in the other country, and they go back, and you think that plastic surgeon that you saw beforehand did your surgery, but unfortunately that's not the case. Florida's laws are much more lax than California, so that's why they've been able to get away with it, unfortunately. That's very sad.
But even in California, I won't name names, but we have a celebrity plastic surgeon that's one of our neighbors who is not board certified and sees patients under his name, and then has somebody else come in and do the surgeries on his behalf. And that's right in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, that's true. And they usually don't advertise themselves as a plastic surgeon, they advertise as a cosmetic surgeon, because the only thing that's legally required is, the only legal regulation is, in order to say you are a plastic surgeon, you need to have had plastic surgery training. But to say you're a cosmetic surgeon, you could be a pediatrician doing liposuction, and you can call yourself cosmetic surgeon.
So one of the reasons why I'm asking why it's so important for our clients to understand a surgeon's background and experience is because I know from personal experience, from working with you day in and day out, how many revision cases you do. A huge percentage of your business is revising everyone else's work, especially with the plastic surgeons just around us in the area. Tell me a little bit more about how hard it is to get through the scar tissue, and what you use in your tumescent to break that scar tissue up, and what that means for our audience.
Yes. So just since we're talking about that, if you've had a botched surgery and you want to have revision, call us, and we will be hopefully be able to tell you if we're able to help you or not. Call us at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. So back to your question. A lot of times patients who want revision, they think, well, most of the work has been done, so this is a smaller work, so it should be cheaper. Which actually turns out to be quite the opposite. A lot of times we have to go through all that scar tissue, and we have to work around a lot of the other the imperfections that have been created. And also, a lot of times we don't know what we're going to get into when we open someone up, because someone else did the work. And that actually increases the difficulty and complexity of the surgery. So that's why sometimes these revisions can be more expensive than the first surgery. So that's one. The other is, for example, liposuction. They think, well, I had liposuction once, and if I'm getting it again, it's going to be less, so it's going to be easier. It's actually much harder. There are plastic surgeons that I know that refuse to do revision liposuction because all that fat is trapped inside scar tissue, and you're not able to get it as easily out. It's very labor intensive. So one of the things that I use for it is a Vaser, that's ultrasound assisted liposuction that breaks up the fat, and the other is the fluid that I inject, which is called tumescent. I add another medication to it that melts the scar tissue, so that makes it a lot easier to take out the fat and gives a smoother result in that case.
I like to call that Dr. Jacobson's secret sauce.
Yes.
But speaking of Vaser, I've witnessed the Vaser being done in the OR with you, and from general traditional liposuction to Vaser literally goes in and melts the body fat like liquid butter. It's amazing. And it melts it, liquefies it, and then he gently sucks it out. It's so much easier on the body compared to traditional liposuction. Keeps the connective tissue intact, it less bruising, less bleeding. It's fabulous, and I love that we offer Vaser.
Yeah,
it's great.
And it adds an additional step, and it makes the surgery longer, but since I'm only doing one surgery a day and I don't have to run to the second surgery, I have all the time in the world to actually spend to make sure I do the surgery right.
How do you feel about revising incisions from other plastic surgeons' tummy tucks and revising their belly buttons?
Unfortunately, that's one of the hardest things to do, because sometimes the tissue that we use to create the belly button or to lower the scar has already been removed. So that's why it is very hard to do that. And I'm very selective about those revision cases that I take on.
Are you ready to achieve the body you've always dreamed of? Look no further than board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson. Dr. Joshua Jacobson offers a range of surgical procedures to help you look and feel your best. From breast augmentation to tummy tucks, our skilled team will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan designed to meet your individual needs and goals. Let us help you achieve the confidence and beauty you deserve. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800.
Obviously, one of the important points in plastic surgery is to make sure the scar is as thin as possible and as hidden as possible. So we definitely focus a lot on that. And making sure the scar is thin starts from the very moment you make a cut. Your incision needs to be precise, exact, and very perpendicular. Some people are sloppy about their incisions, so that's one. The other is when you're closing, you have to be very meticulous. You close in multiple layers. There are some people that just close in one layer, and that doesn't give enough strength to that closure, so your skin stretches, your scar stretches, and it gets thicker and wider. That's number two. Number three, the types of sutures that you use and where you put those stitches. If you put them over the skin, they can leave scars. So most of the time, pretty much always in plastic surgery, we put the sutures under the skin and we put multiple layers. The other point is making sure you pay attention to the skin being very flush on edge to edge when you're suturing it. And usually the suturing is the last part of the surgery, and people are tired and they're rushed for the next surgery, and so they can sometimes just do it quickly. But I take my time because that's what the patient sees. They don't see the inside, what a beautiful work I did on the inside. They only see the outside. So I spend a lot of time doing it myself, and sometimes I go back and forth to get it right. There are some surgeons who let their assistants do the closure. There are some assistants that are really good at suturing. They've done it for 20 years and they can even do it better than some surgeons. But for the most part, not all of the assistants do such a good job. So you cannot just leave that to an assistant that you don't know, or you've only been working for a short period of time. So that's why pretty much in almost all my cases, I do all of my closures.
Great. Well, that's good to know.
Do you have questions you would like answered on the Beauty Blueprint? Call us at 800-734-0040. That's 800-734-0040, and leave a message with your comment or question, and we will answer it on air. Then tune in every Sunday morning at 7:30 to the Beauty Blueprint right here on Go Country 105.
Does every surgeon have a procedure they specialize in? And should you start looking for a different surgeon if what you're looking for to get done isn't their specialty?
So that's a good question. There are a small number of surgeons that are very talented and they can do pretty much every procedure really well. But for the most part, most plastic surgeons have a talent for a certain procedure. There are some that are really good with rhinoplasties and they do them day and night. There are some surgeries that don't necessarily need you to be an expert in it. For example, breast aug, you don't need to be an expert in it. But something like a facelift or a tummy tuck or a BBL, you want someone who does them a lot and does them well and has a talent for it. So one of the surgeries that a lot of people think, it's very common, everyone does it, is a rhinoplasty. It's actually contrary to that. Rhinoplasty is one of those surgeries that's there's a lot of finesse to it and there's a lot of nuances, and you want to go to someone that does it day and night, and that's 80% of their practice. But something like a breast aug, it's not so much about technique than it is about understanding what the patient wants and understanding the look that the patient wants. So there are many things that go into choosing a surgeon. I think one of the most important one is to make sure it's a board certified plastic surgeon, because just to get that board certification, you have to submit your cases, your before afters. You go through a rigorous testing process. You get interviewed, and you get presented with hypothetical cases, and they really make sure you're a good surgeon. But also there are plastic surgeons who are board certified, but still they're not as good. So that's the minimum that you want to get. The other is you want to feel comfortable with your plastic surgeon. You want to see that they listen to you, they understand what you're looking for. You also want to see a lot of before afters of that procedure to make sure that they do a lot of it, and they do it right, and they do it the way you are looking for. And those are the biggest things that I would say you need to look for in a plastic surgeon when you're looking to get surgery.
Understandable. Dr. Jacobson, what would you say is your specialty, and what sets you apart from other surgeons in your field?
So I like to focus on the body. That includes the any breast work, tummy tuck, liposuction, and BBL, and that's because I feel like it's sort of like because I feel like it's a contouring kind of process, and for me the harmony, the balance between the breast and the waist and the buttocks is very important. You've seen me talk to patients and tell them, well, if you get this procedure first before you get this one, it's better for you, just because you'll be able to match the proportions better.
Right, absolutely. For example, if let's say we have a patient come in and they want a breast aug and a tummy tuck. Well, their tummy tuck part of a tummy tuck is the plication of the abdominal muscles, where we sew them up nice and tight, and then the vasor of the upper abdomen, the vasor liposuction of the lower, and the mons pubis. You also do a great job at vasoring the flanks and the love handles, giving that beautiful hourglass shape. By the time the patient is done healing, their stomach is so nice and tight and snatched. The boob job, the breast aug, and the implants they thought they were gonna want might be way too big now because their stomach is so tight and so snatched. So it's best if you have the tummy tuck first, see the results, be completely healed, or to somewhat, okay, and then go and see, okay, now what I wanted as breast implants are completely different from now while I'm healed. And I'm sure you've seen that a lot, correct?
Exactly, yeah, we do that pretty often. Obviously, there are cases where I've done them both at the same time, so and that's tailored based on each patient. But in a lot of cases, I do recommend them getting the tummy tuck first, and then doing any breast work, because also they lose weight after a tummy tuck because of what you mentioned. When we sew those muscles back together, those ab muscles, it pushes on their stomach and they get full much quicker. And then they lose weight. I've had patients lose anywhere from 10 to 40 pounds.
Do you remember
after
that one patient? Yeah, that one patient just came in and lost 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes, just from that.
Just after a tummy tuck.
Incredible.
So, and a lot of times they get more motivated because they have this new body. So they eat better, they exercise more, so they lose weight, and then their breasts can change shape because of all that weight loss. So that's why we leave the breast work for later. There are times when we switch them up, but it's tailored for each patient. That's why I take my time. I spend an hour during a consultation making sure I understand what they want, how their body is, and what's important for them.
I actually stopped booking consultations for an hour because we talk so much. They go way over an hour. They really do. But we just want to get to know the patient, figure out their wants, their needs, what their dislikes are as well. We always say bring pictures of your wants, but also show us what you don't want, because that's just equally as important.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you ready to achieve the body you've always dreamed of? Look no further than board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson. Dr. Joshua Jacobson offers a range of surgical procedures to help you look and feel your best. From breast augmentation to tummy tucks, our skilled team will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan designed to meet your individual needs and goals. Let us help you achieve the confidence and beauty you deserve. Don't wait. Contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800.
A lot of times I've turned patients down because I believe, based on their body structure and what can be achieved, we cannot achieve what they want, what they're looking for. And I don't want to be the one that takes their money, does surgery on them, and leaves them disappointed. So if I see they don't have realistic expectations, or they don't have what they want cannot be achieved with their body shape and type, then I turn them down.
How much time should a potential client spend in a consultation? Could you walk me through a typical consultation process and what I should expect at each stage?
Sure. So usually it should be about 45 minutes to an hour. Obviously, some procedures are smaller and you just spend less time in them. But usually the consultation includes first getting to know your medical history, your medications, smoking history, surgical history, and then also understanding what you want and what you don't want. And that really, a lot of times patients haven't really thought about that. So it takes a lot of going back and forth, showing you pictures. So usually it's about 45 minutes to an hour that you want to have your consultation be, especially for a major surgery such as a tummy tuck, a BBL, a lipo 360, a facelift.
How do you stay current with the latest advancements and techniques in plastic surgery?
So that's a good question. In medicine, things are always changing, and in plastic surgery even more so. So that's why I go to conferences that are whether it be national or international conferences, to see what's the most recent advancement. What are some new techniques that people are using? What are some things that they're finding? And also, I talk to a lot of the medical reps, device reps, to see what's the new device and how good it is. And you know me, I'm a little bit conservative with devices and new things. I kind of like to first see how they work, because I've seen so many of these be pulled off market because they were just not good. So that's how I stay up. And obviously I get journals every month that I read. Obviously takes time, but it's if you don't do that, you get behind.
Right. Is it typical for surgeons to keep up with the most current things happening in the field?
A lot of surgeons do, yes, but sometimes some surgeons, as they sort of get a little bit older, they might not want to spend as much time, or they might not have as much drive. But there are many surgeons that are older and they do very well. But yeah, I would say a lot of surgeons do that.
Ever wish you could redesign your look even just a little? Meet board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Joshua Jacobson, the architect of beauty. His expertise transforms your vision into reality. Whether you're dreaming of a subtle enhancement or a dramatic change, Dr. Joshua Jacobson can meticulously blueprint your ideal self. Don't wait, contact us today at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. Final question. What is the one piece of advice you would share with a potential client thinking about having their first procedure?
Go to several consultations and do not be rushed into surgery, because if you do, you will always be wondering, well, maybe if I had gone to this other person, it would have been better. That's why I want you to go to multiple consultations. If you've done your research and you come to me and you say, well, you know, I know you're the one I want to do, you're my first consultation and the only one, that's fine. But if you have any doubts, just see other surgeons. There are consultation fees, but I think it's definitely worth that investment. If you're going to spend, you know, several thousands on a surgery, a few $100s on that research is not much.
Wow, our time together has gone by so quickly. I hope you enjoyed the show and got some good insights on how to choose a surgeon that's right for you. Make sure you tune in every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. on Go Country 105 to listen and learn everything you need to know about plastic surgery, whether you've had it done or considering having a procedure down the road. We have many exciting topics we're going to be covering on air.
As always, if you have any questions, you want to book a consultation, give us a call at 424-465-3800. That's 424-465-3800. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Josh Jacobson MD. See you next time, same place. I'm Dr. Joshua Jacobson, your beauty architect.